I'll take a day to you this day of your time. How are you all? Oh, hey, thank you. Now, once again, we would like to take this opportunity, first of all, to thank each and every one of you, and all of you together collectively, who are participating in the co-creation of this transmission. Once again, each and every time you are willing to participate in this kind of communication, it forms not only a link and a bridge between your world, your frequency, your dimension, your reality, and ours, but also by creating such a link, it creates a new dimension, a new reality, a new vibration that will grow and change and become a space, become a reality in which we can one day both interact more and more directly. So we thank you for the co-creation of this new space, of this new reality in which we all shall together participate. Let us begin this day of your time, this transmission, by calling this communication permission slips. Let us talk about permission slips. What are permission slips? Well, the idea we would like to share with you this day of your time is that many times we hear in conversations with many of you questions and discussions of different kinds of tools, rituals, books, information. And we are often asked, does this tool work? What about this ritual? What is the best way to do this? What is the best way to do that? Now, we have often discussed, of course, the notion that for each and every one of you individually, because each and every one of you is a distinct signature vibration, that obviously whatever tool, ritual, idea, information you attract to yourself is, by definition, at that moment, the one that will work best for you. Because it is keyed, it is matched to your frequency. That's why you attracted it. So even if the very next day you attract something different, if it is that attraction, the product of the change in your frequency, and you trust the synchronicity of your life having brought that to you, then even if it is different than what you were doing the day before, it is at that moment the perfect tool for you, because you attracted it with your frequency, like vibration to like vibration. But in talking about all of these different techniques, tools, rituals, meditations, books, information, what have you, there is something very important to understand about all these things. Be they ideas or artifacts, doesn't matter. What they really simply are permission slips that you give to yourself to be who you are. The power does not exist in those objects, in those rituals. No real effect per se comes from them. Now, we understand, of course, that in physical reality, when something is crystallized in a physical way, of course it has its own attributes. Such things as crystals are obviously representative of certain kinds of energy patterns, yes. But nevertheless, the point is that regardless of what attribute the object or idea or technique or tool itself may have inherently, the idea is that it still doesn't really create any effect within you or do anything for you unless you choose to match the frequency of the idea it symbolizes for you. So you are generating the effect yourself out of your own energy, but what you are doing is you are relying on your belief system, which sometimes can be unconscious, to attract to you the symbol that best reflects the vibration within you. that will allow you permission to be yourself. We understand that many times some of the belief systems and ideas and definitions that you are brought up believing in on your planet will create certain notions and patterns within you that makes it seem as if you do not have the ability to be who you say you wish to be. That there are obstacles or challenges in your way that seem to prevent you sometimes, as we hear it from you, from really becoming the full person you wish to be, from really having the full passionate life you wish to have. This is not empirically true, but we understand that if you have a belief system that says it is that way, then for you it is true. Because even though there is no real empirical physical reality, your experience of physical reality is real. That is the only thing that is real. Experience is the reality, not the reality you think you're experiencing, just the experience itself. And when you gravitate toward, attract yourself to, or attract to you some particular idea of information, some particular technique of delivery, even including this idea of channeling, or some object such as a crystal or some book or some ritual or some meditation, all of those things are just a portion of yourself writing you a permission slip to let you finally be in a space that's safe for you to really express your abilities, to be more of who you are. The things themselves do nothing for you. You are doing it all. But if you feel you need an excuse to do it, a permission slip from the universe to do it, then that's what all of these tools and techniques are for. You attract what reflects the belief system within you that makes it seem as if the technique is giving you the ability to do what you want to do, but you're simply giving it to yourself. You are giving yourself permission through the symbol to be more of who you are. So please remember that when and if, at any time, you have a question in your head, what technique is the best for this? What tool should I use? All the things you're ever going to find, all the things you're ever going to have recommended to you, all the things you're ever going to be attracted to are really nothing more than a variation of a permission slip that you are giving to yourself to reveal to yourself, through the particular symbology of that slip, what kind of pattern exists, or what kind of belief system exists, or what kind of definition exists within your consciousness. And in knowing that, in going into the ritual, in using the tool or the technique with that in mind, you can empower yourself that much more rapidly, that much more powerfully, that much more thoroughly by recognizing that even though you may feel at this moment that you need that tool, need that technique in order to have what you want, in order to be who you wish to be, you can then now at this point understand it is you simply doing this by having given yourself permission to let it be all right in some kind of context that your belief system can relate to, so that you will remove any reason not to be yourself. Now, ultimately, you will understand that if this is what these things are, if they are nothing but permission slips, then certainly, as you grow, as you learn, as you expand, you will realize that any technique, any tool will work, will do the same thing, that they're all valid in that context, they're all equal, one is not better than another, and in general, you will also arrive at a point where you will realize that you don't really need them to simply make a change within yourself just because that's what you wish to do. You will simply shortcut the process, not need the technique, not need the tool. You will simply say, well, I'll just choose. I will just choose to be that way. I will just choose to be that state of being. I don't need any other tool, any other technique, other than the recognition that what I choose will be so. What I choose is up to me. And if I wish to attract a technique or tool to myself because I feel it is fun, because I feel it will give me a reason to do what I wish to do, be who I wish to be, well, all well and good, so be it. But knowing that will eventually eliminate the need for the tool itself. Because you are the primary tool, you are the primary technique. Now, we are going to cover more of the ideas I'm about to speak about in what you call tomorrow's transmission as well. But we're going to lay some foundations here and now for that. The next thing we would like to bring up in connection and in conjunction with this idea of permission slips is how to allow this concept to sink in more deeply and how to form a relationship more clearly and more consciously with what many of you have for a long time called your higher self. This mysterious higher self. Where is it? Don't know. Is he up there? Is she over there? Don't know. How high? This high? This high? Don't know. What is the higher self? Thank you. Let's address this. So you have some definitions to work with, which again are nothing but what? Permission slips. That's all we're delivering here. Everything we say, everything we deliver to you is nothing but another form of permission slip. Take which one works for you. The ones that don't work for you, let them be. Now, let's go into a little bit more detail. Higher self. All right. Most of you are familiar with the idea that you have a physical consciousness, a personality as a physical being that you relate to as yourself, so to speak. But then there is this mysterious idea of the higher self. Simply put, most of you understand, or at least intuit, that the so-called higher self, well, is relatively non-physical. Even more simply put, you could say that there is a vibrational frequency just above physical reality, just beyond physical reality, in which resides what you might refer to as a template for physical reality, or upon which you construct your physical experience. It is in that template level, just beyond the physical threshold, that the higher self exists. Now, please do not confuse the idea of higher self with oversoul or spirit or what have you. Higher self is a specific idea that is like a version of the person you are in physical reality, but a version that has a broader perspective, a broader point of view. It's like having a twin standing on a mountaintop while one is also standing in the valley. And they can communicate with each other. And the higher self can say, I see you walking down the road, and I see that there is, well, a little bit of a ditch up ahead, so if you walk this way and walk that way, you'll avoid it. And the one in the valley going, oh, thank you very much. This is, very simply put, the relationship between the two. It is you with a higher perspective, a broader perspective, a bigger picture, without the complications that can arise from the personality construct's belief system. So the higher self is like a guiding principle, a governing principle, so to speak, that is a part of your complex as a person, but is the non-physical component that acts as the conduit to even higher versions of your soul, of your being, of your spirit, but also acts as the intermediary between those higher levels and the physical personality construct, and can distill information from the higher spirit and soul over soul levels in a way that your personality can understand. So the higher self functions like a translator, taking the information from the higher levels and bringing it down to earth in a way that can communicate to the personality effectively. However, because of some of the belief systems that exist within the personality structure on your planet, there has been confusion as to exactly how to form a clear communication line to the higher self. So let's make something very, very clear. This may sound a little bit surprising, but that's all right. Surprises are good. There are 3 levels here in this idea. It might surprise you to know, as personality constructs, as physical minds, you do not conceive of any ideas. What do I mean? The personality does not conceive of concepts. It perceives concepts. It does not conceive them. Here are the 3 levels. The higher self conceives. The physical brain receives. The personality mind perceives. That's all it does. Any idea, any inspiration, any imagination you have ever had doesn't come from the physical mind portion of you. It comes from the higher self portion of you, through the receiver, the brain, and is translated by the brain into a vibration that the physical mind then perceives as a reflected reality. One more time, because this is crucial to understand. You don't conceive of any ideas as a physical mind. That's not what the physical mind is designed to do. It cannot create ideas. It can only perceive the result of an idea from the higher self. Now, this may sound at first somewhat limiting, but in fact, it's very, very freeing, because you can all stop thinking. You can all stop thinking you're in charge. You can all stop thinking you have to think of everything. You can all stop thinking that you're the one guiding the ship. You're not. You are just looking at the road. You're just experiencing the path that you, the whole you, is creating. But the reason you get into trouble, the reason you feel stuck as a physical mind, is because you've been taught to believe that the physical mind is the one coming up with all this stuff. And it's not. So when you try to manipulate it, it doesn't work, because the physical mind is not designed to actually create those concepts. It is only designed to perceive the effect of the creation of those concepts through the receiver, the physical brain. Now, here's also what happens. And again, this is an important distinction. Physical mind cannot perceive how something happens. It can only perceive how something happened. One more time. It's a very important distinction, and I'll explain. Physical mind does not have the capacity to perceive how something happens. It can only perceive how something happened. But because the physical mind thinks it's coming up with these things, it then takes what happened and assumes that that's how things happen. And it's not. It's only what happened that time. And it thinks, well, if I do that again, I can make this happen, I can make that happen. No. You might get some degree of repetitional success with that philosophy, but it will never go beyond the parameters of what you observed in that particular happenstance. Because what happened was designed to allow that particular thing to happen. And that particular thing doesn't necessarily require the same ingredients as something else. So when you may want something else to happen, when you may want to expand on what happened, you cannot use the same ingredients that made that happen, because then all you'll do is repeat the cycle and wonder why you're not getting anywhere. You have to allow the connection to your own higher self to be the one that will allow you to experience the reality that comes from the higher self, because the higher self is the only part of you that actually knows how things happen, because it's on the mountaintop. It has the broader perspective. It can see what's coming. It can orchestrate. You're in the valley as a physical being. From the physical perspective, your view is somewhat limited. But the idea is it doesn't matter. As we will discuss and point out, and as many of you have heard in The Secret, all you really need to do, to use the analogy they use of driving your car, is see the road just a few hundred feet ahead. You don't have to see the road all the way from your beginning to your destination. That's the higher self's point of view. So you don't have to know exactly how you're going to get there. All you need to know as the physical side of the personality mind is where you're at right now. The higher self will tell you, keep going. Turn left. Turn right. You're going to get there quicker this way. You're going to get there quicker that way. You need to stop for now. You need to take a rest. You need to take a bathroom break. Then get back in your car and keep going. That comes from the higher self portion of the total being that you are as a person, as a persona. But the physical mind aspect of the personality does not have the capacity to understand how things happen. So, stop trying to figure it out, because you never will as a physical person. Only as a higher self expression, when you are in communication and allowing that communication to occur, will you then be able to take advantage of knowing how it's going to happen, but the physical mind will not know how it's going to happen. This is using the invisible to your advantage. And this is why you talk about such things as, well, you just have to take it on faith. No, you don't. It's really about knowing and understanding the nature of your actual existence, understanding the structure of the relationship, understanding how it is you have arranged yourself as a consciousness, and then simply using it in the same way that you use a telephone, a light switch, or any other device. It's simply a matter of understanding the nature of it, and then taking advantage of using the nature of it, and using the power of the invisible, because it's very, very solid. Just because your physical mind can't perceive it, can't perceive the how of it, and how this is all happening, doesn't mean it cannot receive the benefit of how it's all happening. But in order to really do that as fully as you possibly can, you must drop the assertion and the assumption that the physical mind needs to know how everything works. Because it never, ever will. It's not designed to. And this allows you to lighten up your load, stop carrying so much baggage, stop trying to do your higher self's job, and just do your own. That's why so many of you are so tired when you are trying to do certain things in a certain way. It's because you're trying to do a job you weren't designed to do. That's exhausting. Stop. You were not hired to do that job. Your higher self already has the job, and it's working for you perfectly. Work with it. Work with it. Not against it, by trying to do the job it was designed to do. Just do the job you were designed to do, which is perceive what has happened and allow yourself to know that what has happened can be used by you to your advantage by maintaining positive meaning from your belief system into it. Allowing yourself to do that as physical mind is what will keep the communication lines open. Acting on your passion, acting on your excitement, always putting positive meaning into whatever happens is what will keep the lines open to your higher self to receive the communication, to know that you can take the next step, and the next step, and the next step, and the next step, because whatever it is that does happen will always allow you to take the next step, no matter what it is, as long as you relate to it in the appropriate way as a physical mind, and don't attempt to relate to it in an inappropriate way as a higher mind yourself. Let the higher mind come through you and relate to it, but don't try to do the higher mind's job for it. It will always, always be difficult for you to do because you're not designed to do that. So again, higher self conceives. Physical brain receives. Physical mind perceives. That's it. That is the totality of your persona in physical reality, with this connection to the level just above, vibrationally just above, what you call solid and tangible reality. Now, of course, to your oversoul, to your spirit, the higher self is actually quite solid, quite physicalized, quite a bit more dense vibrationally than you are when you are on the higher spirit level, on the oversoul level. It is, again, just above what you call the frequency of physical reality. We will go into this, as we say, in more detail, in more depth, tomorrow of your time. Also, what we will go into in more depth and in more detail tomorrow of your time is the concept that we have talked about many times, and you have heard from other places many times, but which we will now deliver in a different way. The concept of the difference between state of being and circumstances. And again, this ties into what we are saying. In a nutshell, as you say, the idea is to understand, as we have said in other ways, that circumstances do not determine your state of being. Your state of being determines your circumstances. Now, what's key here, though, is to understand once again that because of the way the personality mind has been taught to think of its job, it will often hear that statement as, oh, well then, if I get into this state of being, I will create circumstances that will be exactly reflective of what I prefer. And if I don't see those, something's wrong. This is what must be avoided, is the assumption that circumstances, that the appearance of circumstances mean anything. Again, remember, they are neutral. It's what you put into them from the state of being you choose to be in that determines the effect of the state of being of your life, the quality of who you are, the level of your passion. Not what the reflection looks like. So, taking this a step further, beyond the idea, beyond the mechanistic connective statement of it's not circumstances that determine your state of being, it's state of being that determines your circumstances, taking it a step further, you could actually help break that connection that doesn't serve you by restating this idea in a more definitive way. Circumstances don't matter. Only state of being matters. Circumstances don't matter. Only state of being matters. Now listen to the way that translates in your language. Circumstances don't matter. Don't materialize things. Only your state of being matters, materializes things. So, Circumstances don't matter. Only, underline, 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 only your state of being matters. Big, fat, period. Exclamation point. Close quotes. Parentheses, brackets.
These are some questions about love, and particularly self-love. One person is wondering, how can we get to self-love if we don't really know what it feels like? Having been brought up in a situation where they were conditioned to be very self-critical and not have self-acceptance, and not really having that muscle memory of what that state is like to fully accept yourself. How can a person see past all of these negative self-identity issues and really experience the feeling of self-love?
This is where the power of paradox once again comes in. As we have said many times, you may feel powerless, but you're using your power to create that feeling of powerlessness. You may feel disconnected, but you're using your connection to all that is to create the experience of disconnection. So by understanding that you may be criticizing yourself, ask the question, why would I bother to criticize myself if I didn't love myself enough to do so? Because criticizing myself can be used to bring myself back into alignment if I find myself out of alignment. So use the idea of being critical, not in a negative way, but in a positive recognition that the only reason you would be critiquing yourself is because you love yourself enough to do so. And once you realize it from that perspective, you will actually paradoxically not be quite as critical in the negative way, but you will always check in with yourself to make sure that you are choosing the things that are truly vibrationally in alignment and compatible with who you prefer to be. It will change its quality. It will change its feeling. You will still check in, but it won't be a negative criticism. It will be an awareness of the idea of misalignment as opposed to alignment. You'll use it as an aligning tool and not a self-negative judgment on yourself for simply having gone out of alignment.
What is human love? Is it connection to ourselves? Is there any relationship, such as romantic, family, or otherwise, that's there to help us connect to ourselves and be more of who we really are? And why would a person feel a deep desire to love and be loved? Is it a childhood need that hasn't been fulfilled? Or is it just about really being your full self?
There can be many circumstances in which you can relate the idea of feeling the need to be loved to a childhood situation, but the childhood situation may only have been pointing out the idea that every single being in creation has the urge to align and connect with all that is. If you want to recognize this as a great attraction, a great magnet, so to speak, that allows you to always yearn toward the idea of harmony and alignment with all that is, then you can translate that as a need to experience love of self and everything and all that is. Because love of all that is unconditionally includes you, because you are part of all that is. And love of yourself includes all that is, again, because all that is an expression of you and you are an expression of it. Not meaning to be too esoteric about this idea. There can be many different expressions of the idea of love. But in your society, sometimes they will get a little bit twisted and they will get a little bit put upon in the sense of assigning a meaning to why it has to be this way, imposing a structure on it that isn't necessarily as unconditional as you may think. It's all about relationships and realizing that all relationships, as we have said, are for the purpose of each person being attracted to other people to help them become more of themselves through reflection, through dialogue, through all sorts of ways, through behavior, and each person doing the same for the other, allowing them to become more of who they are through recognition and awareness and awakening. And that is the ultimate love, is the idea that relationships are about love, unconditional love, if you're functioning as a reflective mirror for others and yourself, letting them reflect to you what you need to become more of who you are.
Okay, thank you. I want to heal conflict and rekindle my zest for life. You say to follow your passion, but I also feel like my passion is irresponsible. Can you guide me to have clear passion and to help heal the conflict within and without?
Well, we may need to have a conversation with this person about exactly why they're defining the idea of their passion as something that's irresponsible. We would need to understand what it is they are recognizing or defining as irresponsible. But nevertheless, without going into the specifics for that particular individual, if you feel that your passion is irresponsible, then you don't have a clear definition of your passion, because your true passion cannot be irresponsible. If you are being irresponsible, then you're not functioning in your passion. That's really all we can say about it, is to watch your definitions, because by definition, acting on your true passion could never actually be irresponsible. Even if someone else may define it as such, if you know that it's not intentionally harming anyone or misleading anyone in any way, it's not being dishonest, it's a true representation of who and what you are at the moment, and you're able to communicate this clearly to other people and let them know who it is you truly are and what it is that is true for you as a passion, as a truth, as a core vibration for you, then you're not being irresponsible. If you hide these ideas from others, then yes, you may be being irresponsible even about your passion. But then again, you're not functioning truly in your passion if you're being irresponsible that way, by not having true open communication with people about what's going on for you and why you're choosing what it is you're choosing. Come down to the question of why you're choosing to do whatever it is you're choosing to do, and investigate with honesty within yourself about whether you're actually truly acting on a real passion, or whether it's simply your anxiety being disguised as such and then coming off as true irresponsibility.
And what about the situation where a person has a passion for a certain career and they've been following that passion and they've received lots of support from other people doing it, people have invested in them doing it, all of those things that create a bond around their passion, and then they don't feel the passion anymore and they want to change, but they feel guilty about abandoning, in a sense, all the people that have supported them in their passion.
All right, well, again, first and foremost, an honest investigation within yourself about whether it really is your passion, or whether your particular definitions are dampening it, or whether the passion is waning simply because you need to be doing something else that may not seem to be connected, but actually synchronistically will be connected and will appear to be connected once you take upon yourself the ability to do the other thing that you're able to act on that is more passionate for you than the thing you were doing a moment ago. In other words, sometimes your passion can make it seem as if you're going in a direction that isn't connected to your original passion, but may in fact be. So you may have to look at it and include that path that may seem to be disconnected and define it as part of your path, part of the original passion, to see if it will bring you back to the original thing once you have gathered whatever experience you will gather by going off on what seems to be a tangent, but ultimately may prove to be otherwise, may prove to be part of the original passion. Remember, don't judge it by how it looks. Allow yourself to know that all passion is connected to every other passion, and it's the feeling of passion that guides you to let you know that all things are connected, even if on the surface of their appearance they don't seem to be. But always investigate your own definitions to make sure you're not the one dampening the passion when the passion could be there. So the guilt may simply be an aligning energy to let you know some self-investigation needs to be done here to determine for yourself whether you are dampening the excitement through your own negative and fear-based definitions, or whether you're actually going off on another path that is part of the overall path, but doesn't seem to be right now, but you have to trust that if it really has more passion than anything else, and you're not the one dampening the original passion, then it is included in the original passion, and there's something about acting on that particular path that will be important for the original passion as well, or will take you where you need to be. And of course, all of this comes, once again, with clear communication to others about what you're going through, because they may also have some advice for you about how you may handle the situation. Be inclusive in your communication if there are those that support you, and allow them to give you some reflections that may clear up the situation for you immediately, rather than figuring this whole thing out by yourself.
Would that also apply in situations where some people like to build companies, but then once they've finished building it, they're not interested in doing it anymore? They want to go find another company to build.
Yes, perhaps, if, again, that's truly representative of their passion waning naturally, because their passion may simply be to build companies that other people will run. That can be a definition of their passion, and creating new ones for other people to run may be the definition of their passion, sort of like planting seeds but allowing someone else to grow the flowers.
So it just requires self-examination and looking for other ways to handle the situation so that everyone can be served.
Absolutely. That may be the definition of the passion. Not every project has to come to completion with the original person. So the idea is really be honest about what your passion is, and let those that can help continue your passion in the way that serves them also serve you.
Okay. And this person is asking about staying positive, or at least going into a neutral state. Is it necessary to release your negative beliefs in order to stay in a neutral state? Or if your negative beliefs keep coming up and you're not able to move into a neutral state, is there a permission slip or a tip that you can use to get into a neutral state?
Well, again, remember what's being defined here is one of the tools of the formula, which is the reflective mirror. As we have said, you may think you've let go of all of your negative or fear-based beliefs, but if they do keep coming up, if new ones keep coming up, that's the reflective mirror showing you, revealing to you that you may have had a few negative beliefs hiding in your unconscious mind. So the very idea of having them come up is an exciting prospect, because it allows you to let go of them by being made aware of them. If the same thing keeps coming up, all that means is you haven't really found the core negative belief that's generating that particular feeling, because remember, feelings can't exist in a vacuum. So if you feel something, it means there's a belief or a definition behind it that you're buying into. This is a golden opportunity to understand yourself and clarify yourself and become more transparent to yourself, to know thyself more clearly. It's not about arriving someplace where this doesn't happen anymore, although you can. But if you're making that more important than investigating why that came up and what you're still holding on to, then you're missing the point. Whatever's going on in the moment, whatever you're facing in the moment, whatever comes up in the moment is the most important thing that can possibly be happening at that moment, and is part of the process of why you chose to have this physical experience. So get into the idea of these things that come up, find out what you're holding on to that you don't prefer, and let it go by making it nonsensical to keep holding on to it, by making it make no sense to hold on to it. But don't necessarily negate the process. The process is clarifying you.
And how does one differentiate between anxiety and excitement?
I would think it would be self-evident if you're honest. The idea really is you can tell the difference. And this is why we have shared with you questions like, well, if I did move forward in this way, what am I afraid might happen? Because that will reveal any anxieties that might be within you that you were unaware of. And if the whole path is truly anxiety being disguised as passion, because you're afraid to face something within yourself, asking that question will reveal that to you as well. So again, this is why we give you those questions. What would I have to believe is true about myself in this situation in order to feel the way I do, or in order to be confused about whether I'm feeling excitement or anxiety? You can put the question in that form as well. Or again, if I did move forward in what I believe to be my passion, what am I afraid might happen? And that will usually reveal, if you're willing to hear the answer with honesty, that will usually reveal whether what you're doing is actually part of your passion or not.
And what about in the situation where someone has a kind of ADD or some version of that, where bright, shiny object, oh, that's exciting. Oh, I'll run after that. Oh, what about that? And then can't really stay focused on, is that an indication that there's underlying anxiety that is driving that?
Yes, because the idea of ADD, in a sense, energetically, is an avoidance issue of facing something that would actually allow them to stabilize in the present. They're avoiding the present because they have a belief that something in the present is too painful for them to experience. So they're distracted by every shiny object that keeps them out of the present.
Does the Trinity, positive, neutral, and negative, come from our limitation of awareness? Or are there any beings in consciousness in the universe that see existence not in a positive, negative, or neutral perspective?
The positive, negative, neutral perspective is inherently built into all levels of all that is, except all that is can experience the totality without differentiation between those particular energetic aspects. At this time, we would like you all, if you are willing, to relax, to breathe, and to reflect on the idea of what we have spoken of as the Interstellar Alliance Social Experiment Step 6, Gatherings. We will talk more about the idea of these gatherings as part of Open Contact in the Sedona transmission upcoming, but the idea for now is to use your inspiration and imagination and creativity to visualize the idea of you creating or joining gatherings at different places on your planet and having fun and experiencing love and joy in forming forms of communication, creating different forms of communication using light, using sound, using energy, using love, using telepathic projection, to invite ETs, spaceships, UFOs, UAPs, whatever you wish to call them and refer to us as, doesn't matter to us, but to invite us to connect, to form community, to receive and be open to your galactic family, to breathe it in and allow it to be real. For it is closer than you think. It is just around the corner. It is imminent. It is separated by the barest difference in frequency from where you are right now, and it is approaching. It is approaching. It is approaching. Be not afraid. You are simply seeing the reflection of your true selves in us. You are simply seeing the reflection of your true selves in us. We are a mirror for your soul to know yourself more fully, more completely, more transparently. To know yourself, to be yourself, to gather with like minds that are all connected as a greater aspect of all that is. Not taking away from your individuality, but gathering together and being an expression of a greater part of the whole. So the whole can support you in its unconditional love, in the frequency of existence, and the frequency of eternity, in the frequency of infinity and limitlessness that is available to you as a spirit, as a soul, as a being, as an aspect and a reflection of all that is. Join us in this step 6 of the Interstellar Alliance social experiment. Allow it to become more real. Allow it to be within you, as a part of you, as your reality. Receive and give and be of service for those who wish it. It is your choice. as always. Our unconditional love to you all. We welcome you home to your spiritual selves. Continue to breathe every day, gently and easily, and breathe the dream into existence. Breathe the reality of contact into existence. Shift yourself through the billions of parallel versions of Earth toward and in the direction of those already experiencing contact. We will describe some specific scenarios that may be available to you to experience when contact begins in our upcoming Sedona transmission. So if you are willing, join us and participate. For the Sedona transmission and the description of the various scenarios of open contact will be the 7th step of the Interstellar Alliance social experiment. We thank you for your participation and your service. Aveo, our unconditional love to you all. Keep breathing, keep dreaming, keep being your true selves. Good day, and good night, and sweet dreams to you all. All right, I'll say good day to you this day of your time, and welcome once again to the transmission of the Interstellar Alliance social experiment, Step 6, which is titled Gatherings. The idea now in Step 6 is connected to what you have already called CE5s, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, where you gather together with other like-minded individuals to create communication, connection, and contact from humans up to ETs to do several things that can grab, as you say, the attention of UFOs passing by, to ask them to stop or to show themselves or to demonstrate that they are something different than your airplanes, than your satellites, by maneuvering in certain ways you know that you do not generally have the technology to exhibit. So these gatherings can be either that you find individuals and groups that are already doing this in certain areas on your planet and you can join them, or using your own creative imagination to create such a gathering, to pull together people, initiating a gathering of your own and demonstrating through the flashing of lights. Do not use lasers. The flashing of regular lights in patterns, the idea of meditations, reaching out telepathically to ships passing by, to ask them with respect to stop, to show themselves to you, to demonstrate unusual maneuvers, to begin the contact process from your side as well as from our side, to start learning how to initiate the idea of the invitation to create communion, connection, contact, community between humans on Earth and your galactic family. So gatherings are important. Find a place, generally speaking, it is best if it is somewhat remote. We have before talked about certain areas on your planet, such as Joshua Tree, as being more conducive to receiving interaction from UFOs, UAPs, from our ships, whatever you wish to call them, doesn't matter to us. But putting these gatherings together not only builds connection between humans on Earth and ETs, but also connections between the humans themselves with each other to create communities of similar vibration, to get you all into a similar frequency, to be willing to be open to contact, which is not so very far away. So this is an acceleration, an opportunity with the changing frequencies that now exist on your planet to choose to navigate in the direction of the versions of the parallel reality Earths that will experience contact in the not so distant future. In just a few years, it will begin. But this will help accelerate, unify, bond within a similar frequency many humans on your planet, if you will be willing to undertake the joining of groups that are doing this or creating your own groups. This will accelerate that bonding experience. This will create a broader frequency around the planet, depending upon how many of you are willing to do this, that can establish the correct frequency to navigate to the versions of Earth that will experience open contact. Allow yourself to be creative. Allow yourself to be imaginative. Allow yourself to be bold and go forth. Allow yourself to be connected, to be open, to be willing, to receive, to give, to form the link, to form the bridge between your world and our worlds, between your world and the stars, between your soul and our souls, between your spirits and our spirits, between your minds and our minds. Do these gatherings, if you wish, as step 6 of the Interstellar Alliance social experiment, because it involves activity, action, doing. It involves the commitment to the idea of being willing to participate in open contact, in the Interstellar Alliance social experiment being given to Earth, to you, as a gift to allow you to experience more of yourselves as you experience more of the cosmos, more of the family that awaits you out here, and that can eventually come to Earth, so that you understand that Earth is your home. Not just the idea of any specific city, not just the idea of any specific country, but that you begin energetically to dissolve the borders and understand that Earth is your home, that you start identifying the entire planet as your home, that you reach out as the entire planet from your home to our homes among the stars. So gather, enjoy, reach out, feel unconditional love, both in giving and receiving, and invite us to interact with you. There will be more and more each time you do this, a buildup of the frequency and more responses until such time as you will know beyond a shadow of a doubt that we are here around your world, interacting with you, sending you love, sending you joy, and that it is our passion and our pleasure to be welcome into your home as we welcome you into ours. So gather, and gather together. We thank you for allowing us to share Step 6 of the Interstellar Alliance social experiment, and we thank you for your willingness to be of service to humanity and to the cosmos in this way, by your participation. In return for the gift you have given us in allowing us to experience all of you, I ask, as usual, now, in what way may we continue to be of service to you? Please begin with your dialogues and your questions, if you wish. And to you, good day.
Hi, Bashar. How are you doing?
Perfect, and you?
I'm perfect as well now.
Oh, all right.
Great. Okay, so let's crack on. So, synchronicity.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you about, firstly, you've spoken about your civilization and how you're moving from fourth to fifth as we synchronistically move from third to fourth.
Yes.
And you said that it was a different octave of consciousness altogether. So I'm interested to know more about that, if you can explain more about that and what methods you're using to navigate through that.
Well, again, the idea of moving into fifth density, which is also the same thing as fifth dimension, means you're going from physicality to non-physicality entirely. That's what we mean by a different octave. That's a euphemism to simply underscore the idea that you're going from a state of being that has some degree of physicality to it to a state of being that does not have physicality in the way that you're used to experiencing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And does it feel like different from when you shifted from the previous density? Does it feel more intense or?
Well, it is more expansive. In other words, your senses are expanding and capable of perceiving multiple dimensional things simultaneously. So it's like you're kind of walking through a dreamscape constantly, being aware of a much larger span of things that have to do with parallel realities and opportunities, different dimensions. These things become the normal way that you perceive reality, overlapping with multiple realities, multiple opportunities and options, multiple pathways simultaneously, rather than the idea of a singular path that illuminates only what is germane for your physical personality. So in the non-physical realm, you begin to also combine with the idea of your identity other aspects of yourself on a greater level and tap into multiple parallel opportunities and choices and synchronicities that are representative of your greater being, your more expanded consciousness.
You mean like the oversoul?
Well, you don't necessarily have to go that far right away, but similar to that idea on a lower level.
Okay, but we're only, in terms of parallel realities, we're only ever ourselves, and we're just always making connections. Is that right? We're only sort of one soul.
Yes, you as a physical persona have a singular soul.
So I can never be any of these other parallel versions.
You aren't. They are themselves. You can only, in a sense, be them if when you say you or me, you are talking about the oversoul level.
Yes.
So if you're saying I, as the oversoul, am all of these different entities and individuals, then yes, that's more precise. But you as a single individual personality, no, that's an extension of an oversoul, and therefore it is a singular expression.
From the soul perspective, I've got one soul, and all those parallel versions have their own soul.
Correct.
Right. Okay, thank you for that. Right, I've got a question for you here. So I want you to imagine now that you're human and you're on Earth now.
I don't have to imagine it. Remember that in the classical way of looking at things, the channel is one of what you call my past selves.
That's true. I just mean kind of from where you are right now, as you as an individual. So if you were speaking to an extraterrestrial now the way we are to you,
yes,
from Earth, what question would you ask if you only had one question that you could ask?
How can I be more myself? That's why we've been delivering information to that end to all of you. How you can be more yourself, because when you are your true self, everything else takes care of itself automatically. Everything falls into place automatically. So I would ask the one thing, as we're sharing with you in terms of answers, the thing that would allow all things to function more automatically and fall into place more easily, to be yourself and allow for unity and harmony to exist on the planet.
And that's following the formula again then.
Yes, it is. That's why we've boiled it all down to that for you, so that it's simple and you don't have to overcomplicate it or overthink it. Just follow the instruction manual. The way we have distilled it down is designed to exactly accomplish the answer to that particular question.
Okay.
Who am I?
And you? Exactly. Who am I? I'm asking that every day to myself.
But all you have to do is follow the formula to figure that out. Remember, the formula doesn't leave anything relevant out. It contains everything and the answer to every question that's relevant and important for you that you might ask in your life.
But if everything changes except the laws, then the formula never changes, does it?
No, because that is a description of the structure of existence that doesn't change. It's how you use it that changes. It's your relationship to it that changes. It's your experience of it that changes. Your perspective of it that changes. But the thing itself, the structure itself, is the structure of existence, and that doesn't change.
Okay. You mentioned that
it doesn't change. Perhaps this will clarify it for you. It doesn't change because in and of itself, it's timeless. It just is in the now, completely and utterly. It doesn't experience the idea of time. Time is within it. It's not subject to time. Time is subject to it. That's why it is what it is and never changes, because you need the experience of time in order to have the experience of change. And then it's beyond time.
Logical.
Yes.
So, you mentioned the Uber civilization around Bernard's star, that we would one day become first contactees for them. I just wondered what challenges and innovations they're going through right now, from where they are, from your perspective, that you can see.
Well, there are many different things going on in their civilization. One moment. Of course, one of the things that's most relevant is they are having discussions in many different circles about the possibility of life among the stars. It is something that many of them have been considering for a little while, and they have been using whatever simple technology they have to speculate, similarly to what Earth has been going through, as to whether or not there is life among the stars. So it's one of the things they are discussing.
Okay. And do they feel that it's possible? Do they feel that they're going to get there? Or do they have doubts the way we do?
Some of them have doubts about it, yes.
And they're not human, I take it?
They're humanoid, but they're not human.
Okay, so they've got some of our genetics.
Yes.
Okay. And what other genetics are they made of? Do they have?
There is no reference point I can give you for that exactly, other than the fact that they're not too dissimilar from you, and therefore they obviously share some genetics with you. But some of the other things that are combined in that are not exactly the same and are not familiar to you in any way I can describe.
And, in terms of synchronicity, the number 55 has followed me around since I was
all right.
50, every 7-8 times a day.
Yes.
And I used to think it was a bad thing, and then I realized it was actually guiding me in a good thing.
Well, that's the use of synchronistic numbers. Sometimes they'll act as road markers to let you know that at that moment you're in the proper state to be yourself and act from that state. It's like saying I'm seeing a road sign that tells me I'm on the right path and I'm in the correct vibration for myself at this particular moment. For you, the idea of 55 is like the number of double humanity.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. Great. Well, thank you, Bashar. It's been a pleasure as always, and have a good day.
And you as well. It is our passion and our pleasure to interact with you. Good day.
Shiva.
Aveo.
Hello, Bashar. What is the spiritual purpose of physical beauty? By physical beauty, meaning not only the looks, but also the scent, the voice, the charm, the intelligence, the inner world. what do we gain, spiritually speaking, from being drawn to beauty the way a lot of us are?
Well, you are being drawn to the concept of balance. Some people will reflect it in certain ways, and they don't necessarily have to be physiologically beautiful to express the idea of some form of beauty. But the idea is that you're being drawn to the balance between the polarities. You're being drawn to the third point, the Trinity point, that allows you to experience within yourself the potential of the balance that you contain. Good day. Good day.
Good day, Bashar. It's so exciting to be here with you today.
As it is for us as well to be with you.
Thank you. There are a couple areas I'd like to explore with you. The first is the topic of the information you shared with us. I've been enjoying the information you've been sharing for a while. It's so clear and creative and
all right,
experiential. And I'm just curious how these materials are developed and what are the theories behind the event structure and the way information is shared with us.
Well, again, the idea is that these are not theories for us. These are simple observations of the nature and structure of existence, and we're simply passing them along to you in whatever form the translation needs to occur to make sense in your language and in your consciousness. So we're simply sharing what we observe in terms of how existence functions, how it works. That's why we're able to distill it down into the idea of the formula, following your passion to the best you can, no insistence or assumption on the outcome, staying in a positive state no matter what happens so you can derive the benefit from it. These are the ways these concepts translate in your language, in your reality, to take advantage of the nature and structure of existence that we're describing to you. Does this make sense?
It does. So basically, if a human wanted to do as an effective a job as you do with others, we would just try and tap into those understandings ourselves when sharing information with others.
Yes, and that's why we give you the formula, because it allows you to do that. Because in other words, as you act on your passion, what happens? You raise your vibration. As you raise your vibrational frequency of energy and expand your consciousness, what happens? You tap into higher frequency realms of information and inspiration and access the same kind of information. So that's also included in the structure. It's self-guiding, it's self-expanding. Just by doing it, just by following the instruction manual and following the formula, it not only allows you to experience your own personal life in a more accelerated and streamlined way, it actually gives you more ability to tap into other levels of information, knowledge, energy, so on and so forth, to be able to also then share similar perspectives with other people as well, because it makes you a more receptive antenna for those higher frequency bits of information in the same way that we tap into it.
Amazing.
Remember, you can't experience what you're not the vibration of first. This is just physics. What you put out is what you get back. So by following the formula, it raises your frequency and allows you to access more information on a broader spectrum.
Okay. And so, it's the other topic I wanted to explore with you, I wanted some guidance on. I've noticed a lot of changes in the world, like a lot of construction, a lot of things shifting.
Yes.
I've been a part of an institution for a long time that there's been a lot of friction there that I've experienced, but I also see an opportunity for helping to shift that structure from within. But the thing that I'm trying to understand and wrap my head around is when is it important to stand our ground? When is it important to resist? Is that ever necessary? When is it important to expose certain structures? Like right now, it seems like exposing certain things might be beneficial. But
it depends on what it is and how you go about it. If you think it's necessary and truly important, it's truly in alignment with your true self, your real self, that certain information be revealed in certain ways that you believe would be to everyone's benefit, that's fine. But you have to have a really strong sense of discernment to know whether that's really necessary or whether you simply need to not resist, but move on to something else that is more representative, or even create something else yourself that's more representative of the kind of environment that you prefer.
That's how would you suggest that someone develop discernment around that? Like, what are some good ways to really tap into that?
All right. Well, again, this requires a great degree of self-awareness and honesty within your own investigation of the reasons, your motivations for why you choose to behave or do what it is you choose to behave or do. So you have to really dig down deep and ask yourself at any moment when you think that some particular action might be required, why do I think that? Why do I feel that? What is my motivation for thinking I have to do it this way as opposed to another way? Am I truly in alignment with harmony in doing it the way I thought I needed to do it? Or am I simply allowing myself to believe that I have to control the situation? Is this coming from a fear-based belief? Is this coming from a love-based belief? What am I actually doing, and why am I choosing to do it this way, or even considering doing it this way? Is this the best way? Is this the path of least resistance? Is this truly me? Or is there something else I would rather be doing in a different way? That's why we say it's so important to just stay in the moment when these things come up, when these questions arise. Just stay in the moment and take the time to examine yourself with great honesty and great transparency about your motivations for why you think you need to do something in the way you think you need to do it, because sometimes it will reveal to you that there might be another way that is truly more you, and that the way you've been thinking of doing it is really just another expression of a fear-based belief because you think that something will go wrong if you don't do it this way or what have you. So it takes great honesty in your self-evaluation to know the difference in your discernment.
Okay, thank you, Bashar. That's very helpful.
All right.
Yeah, and a great gratitude to you and everyone that's a part of this transmission today and everyone who isn't. So blessings, and I thank you.
We thank you as well. Good day.
Good day, Bashar. It's been a pleasure knowing you. I'm Ryohei from Osaka, Japan. So, 2 months ago, I had a lucid dream about 2 UFOs, glowing purple light, hovering about 200 feet right above me, lying on my bed. My body was floating in midair, as if I was getting sucked into one of them while having a sleep paralysis. Recently, I haven't had any dreams about UFOs. So my question is, how can I utilize my Esasani contact crystal to increase the probability of dreaming about UFOs? Love you, Bashar. Sayonara.
When you go to sleep, as you're falling off to sleep, ask for more conscious, lucid awareness of your interactions with other beings. It will eventually be given to you. You will eventually take it. The idea is to not be afraid to have that awareness, not be afraid to have those experiences, and ask for those experiences on your own terms in ways that will work for you. You are entitled to do this. You're entitled to be an equal participant consciously in any interactions with extraterrestrial beings, no matter what their particular take may be. So the more you ask for awareness and the less you are afraid of having that awareness of what's going on those other levels, the more you will have conscious participation in what's happening.
Hi, Bashar.
Anna, you good day.
Good day. I have a question on our consensus agreements here in this reality. And as we evolve as a species, individually and collectively, and we invite our future selves in to come in to integrate within this original consensus agreement, does that change or expand our agreements collectively and individually? And if so, how does that work? And
all right,
as far as our next step?
All right, well, the short answer is yes. But the idea is to remember that you're creating yourself to shift to different realities, and different realities, different parallel versions of Earth that you're shifting through have their own completely different consensus. So you're not changing the consensus of one world, you're simply shifting to another world that has a completely different collective consensus.
So as this evolution continues with us, how do you incorporate that in your thinking model? And, like what's really the higher.
How it's incorporated is by the synchronicity that shows you now what is more and more possible for you in that new reality that has a different consensus. In other words, it will become more apparent and more obvious through synchronicity that different things are now available to you than used to be available to you to act on, that is more in alignment with who you are.
Yes, I've experienced that. So I was just wondering how that just continues to evolve us. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes. As you shift and go through different versions of Earth with different consensus realities, it becomes more and more apparent what it is that aligns with you as an individual and gives you more opportunities to express your individuality within the context of the new consensus.
So that's already open to and available to us. It's just a matter of our acting on our excitement and moving forward in that direction.
Just a matter of following the formula. As we constantly are reminding all of you, the formula is designed to let you know that nothing is left out that's relevant for you to experience in your path in life. So yes, of course it's available to you, because why would that ability be left out of the formula?
Clarification is very important for me. Thank you so much on that. I really appreciate that clarification.
It is our passion and our pleasure.
Yesterday, there was an agreement that came in from the Eastern Bloc, and I know you'd spoken about look to the Eastern Bloc for economic changes, and there was a peace agreement that had been made. Is this what we're looking for in that direction?
It's a piece. It's not the only thing, but it's a piece. It's a start.
So all the energy that was going toward that, this worked out to an agreement so far.
Again, remember, nothing changed in the original reality. You shifted to a reality in which that already existed.
Okay, thank you. Got it.
Yes?
I'm looking at the 15 sacred circuits that you had presented some time ago, and
Yes.
Working with those as alive beings. Is that what I was understanding?
Everything is an aspect of consciousness.
Yes.
So in a sense, they're alive.
And they're part of our fundamental nature here in this reality. Is that correct?
Well, they're representative of certain aspects of the underlying template of physical reality, but they're also specifically representative of certain circuitry arrangements in your brain and in your neurological network. That's why we have shared them with you as a kind of meditative tool to allow you in each representation of each circuit to rewire your brains that make you a better receiver, a better antenna for higher frequency information and energy.
And that connects to our geometry here in this reality to above and beyond.
Well, yes, of course. It would make no sense for us to deliver information that didn't connect to the geometry of your particular reality experience.
I know some of them look very familiar, but some of them don't.
Yes. Well, these kinds of things have been used throughout the ages when people get to a certain point in their evolution and start to realize that there are representative symbols of these underlying energy forms. Then, of course, many of them may be familiar to you because they've existed before in different civilizations on your planet.
Now, when you first presented them, I did the exercises, and I can't say that I paid attention to them forever. You know, I think I worked with it a couple of months. And
that's all right. It's up to you.
Yes. And then I'm picking them back up now. And is there a special way to use them? Just have a focus?
Yes. There is a special way to use them. Your way.
Okay.
Let your imagination be your guide as to how to put them together, either using them individually or putting them together collectively in some kind of pattern that makes sense to you. Feel your way through it and see what stands out. That's the best advice I can give you. Feel what feels correct to you. Putting them together, rearranging them, you'll find the pattern that makes sense for you. So the best way is your way.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the connection today and the interaction.
As do we. We thank you. Good day.
Good day.
To you, good day.
I'm very excited to be here.
I am excited as well.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Happy birthday to all of you, since you're all new every moment.
Thank you. You know, when we were doing the exercise, and I've had this issue, to where when I'm trying to
when you're what?
When I'm visualizing
Yes.
being the new person that I want to be.
Yes.
I go, oh, this is what I want to be. No, I jump from one thing to another,
Yes.
to another, to another,
Yes,
and I
yes.
can't seem to find the
One word.
Uh-huh.
Practice.
Oh, okay.
You'll get used to it.
Okay.
I don't have any expectation that any of you have to use this right out of the gate perfectly the first time. It is what it is, and it is perfect for what it is. But you don't have to measure yourself against some idealized version of the experience. It's up to your imagination to alter it as it sees fit in whatever way works best for you.
I see.
So if right now you're jumping around, then it's telling you something, perhaps both positive and negative, that you can look at. It's allowing you to use the exercise to discover something about yourself that you may wish to change. That's up to you to decide. But don't berate yourself because you think you did it wrong. I don't give you exercises that you can do wrong.
I see. Also, I've been doing some research on the internet, and I hear about.
You mean you searched and then you researched it?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Why didn't you find it the first time you searched? You know I'm playing with you.
Yes, I do.
All right.
I've discovered there's Arcturians, there's Pleiadians.
Pleiadians. Yes.
And Syrians. And,
yes.
And
hybrids.
And hybrids. Are they all working together?
In general ways, in different ways. Of course, again, there are different groups with different focuses. And thus, then, the ones that have similar focus will be the ones working together. There are other beings, other civilizations that are not working in the same ways, but that's all right. They're off doing other things. But Earth has the attention of many because of the transformation going on. It's a very exciting place.
Is it just Earth right now?
No, but it is one of the most powerful in terms of its transformation from dark to light. Because there are not that many places we've ever discovered that experience this degree of limitation. That's why we call you the masters of limitation.
Yes.
But you see, we recognize that Earth is not a kindergarten, it's a master class. It takes a very strong spirit to know that it can transform this degree of limitation into freedom, this degree of darkness into light. That's why we say masters of limitation, not masters of limitation, masters of limitation. You're all very strong. It's a graduating class. It's very exciting.
I've also heard that the 11-11-11 was is a time for portals.
That's why we said gateway.
Gateway.
Gateway, portals, vortices, all are amping up and magnifying with the vibration of the idea of crossing the threshold.
So are there places around Earth that are those portals are opening up or gateways are opening up?
Yes. Many of you are already familiar with many of the vortices and chakra points on your planet. Now, of course, it is wherever you are as well, but yes, your planet is, shall we say, structured in a crystalline fashion and thus then does exemplify certain gateways and portals and vortices at certain points on your planet, certain locations that in some sense are more conducive to connecting to a multitude of dimensional experiences and amping up the energy for the purpose of disseminating that energy across the grid of your world, yes.
And that's happening just today?
It has been happening. It is amplifying today. It is reaching what you would call a nodal point, an exponential amplification today that will accelerate and shoot you toward the threshold crossing, as you say, in your year of 2012. So this is a time of catching a bigger wave, so to speak. Yes?
Wonderful.
The tide is rising. Catch a bigger wave.
Thank you, Bashar.
Thank you.
Hello.
And to you, good day.
This is my first time.
It is our first time too, talking with you.
First time hearing about you and first time seeing you.
All right, but you're not really seeing me, but I understand.
And I have a question regarding you, actually. I'm
Oh,
pretty
all right.
curious.
Yes, speak up so that all may hear you.
First of all, I wonder, how old are you?
At this particular moment, I am 197. But sometimes in this conversation, I will be different ages, depending upon what portion of my consciousness needs to communicate with you. In essence, I am, in my own time frame, over 250.
Okay.
Right now, the 197-year-old is the one that needs to speak to you.
Why are you younger when you're talking to me?
Because the idea of the things you wish to discuss, shall we say, are more germane to the vibration of that particular version of me.
How do you know?
I don't know. It just automatically regulates itself.
Okay. Then I have another question, maybe that will be a little bit attached to this question.
All
how
right.
old you are. I have to just think how I'm going to formulate myself.
No, all right. Probably best to use English.
Yes, you can hear that I'm not from here.
Yes.
Yes. Your body, how would you describe your body? Like visually?
I am of average 5 feet of your height, white, whitish gray skin coloration, relatively thin. My eyes are larger than yours. I have no hair. My ears are somewhat smaller. My nose and mouth are somewhat smaller. You would recognize me as somewhat humanoid, but you would call me a hybrid.
And how would you say that your people are? Are your people kind of kind people, only kind, or do you have like different characters?
We have different characters, but in our evolution, we have arrived at a place where our planet is one of peace.
Completely peace.
Completely. We have no illness, no disease, no hatred. None of those ideas now remain within our matrix.
And how is your nature there?
You mean literally our physical nature on the planet?
Yes.
The entire planet is mostly park-like. We have no built-up cities on our world. Our spaceships are our cities. The planet in that sense is relatively temperate, averaging about 72 degrees, give or take a few degrees up or down. You will find that our orbit in that sense allows us to have an inclination that allows the world to remain relatively park-like year-round. We have no real seasons.
Okay, you mean park-like in terms of trees?
Trees, grasses, very natural. There are animals of a variety of types. There are some structures on the planet, but they are very simple and very few. We simply allow the planet to remain in its natural state.
And then I have another question. I have to think again. Are you able to see the future for us beings?
There is no such thing as a prediction of the future. There is only a sensing of the energy that exists at the time the prediction is made, because there are an infinite number of probable futures. Thus then, if there is a great degree of energy behind something and it's unlikely to change course, we can see patterns as we have before, that would lead to what you would call a prediction that is unlikely to change. But very often, letting you know what the prediction is changes the energy and renders the prediction obsolete.
It's like mathematics.
It is. It's simply an issue of probabilities. Not very few things are fixed. However,
are you happy?
All the time, always.
That was it. Thank you.
Thank you.
When you were talking about visualizing through the mirror, through the glass,
yes,
seeing ourselves as another version of ourselves, and,
yes,
one that we prefer, you talked about an exchange of helpful energy one to the other.
Yes.
And I got confused there, because I thought, well, if I'm looking at the version of myself that I prefer,
yes,
I don't see why would I need help from the version that I am now? I mean, how could I be helpful? How could I be helpful to another version of myself.
Because you are allowing them to also create the version they prefer by using you in the same way you used them. Just as you are looking through the glass and using them to continue to alter their reality to appear more and more like the reality you prefer, they're doing the same thing to you at the same time, using your energy to help them create the reality image on your side of the glass that they prefer to see. That's why the exchange takes place.
You mean the version, they're looking at the version of me that they would prefer to see?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Now I understand.
Does that help you?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And you, good day. Speak up, speak up.
Okay. I already get it almost answered. Already,
well, all right. Then sit down.
Which I put in the basket. But I wanted to ask you about like a science fiction-like story. It's a
science fiction.
Rumor about 311 earthquake in Japan.
Yes.
I heard that is the earthquake was man-made, and it was
only in the context that it is a reflection of humanity's consciousness. It was not technologically engineered, if that is what you mean.
So nobody related to it wasn't a terror or anything.
I just told you.
Mm-hmm.
It was not technologically engineered.
All right.
Does that help you?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And one more question, sorry.
Yes.
How people can deal with the death of the people, the loved one. I lost my mother 2 years ago.
All right.
It's pretty hard to deal with it. So how people in your planet think about death?
We simply see it as walking from one room to another, as a different state of being. We are always in communication with those of our species who have died. They are always in communication with us because that is how our consciousness functions. And we understand that it is only a difference of degree, a difference of state of being. Many of you are beginning to realize that as well and not seeing such a difference between the idea of physical and non-physical reality. And so the veil in that sense that you've created is becoming thinner, 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 and thinner. So more of you are beginning to explore the idea of the possibility of talking with those who have crossed over to the spirit realm. Again, look at the reflections in your reality. The reflections in your reality are constantly reflecting the idea of what's going on in the changes in your consciousness. Why do you think you have so many television programs and films that deal with the idea now of exploring ghosts and talking to ghosts? It's because you know you can. It's because you know they still exist. It's because you know life continues on. In a sense, there is no afterlife. There's just life. It changes states, but there's just life. And if you exist, you always will, because it's the only quality you have. It's a fundamental quality. That's why it's the first law of creation. You exist. You can't do anything about it. You can change how you exist, but you cannot change the fact that you do exist.
So you just celebrate your changing, the person's changing.
The person is just shifting, just changing into a different state of consciousness. The idea, again, we will explain a little bit more clearly tomorrow, mechanically, how this actually works.
So no sadness.
Well, you don't have to. If you experience sadness because you feel you are missing someone, it's all well and good. In that sense, we're not telling you not to grieve if you feel the need to do so. But the idea is that you can also understand that they don't necessarily want you to grieve. They want you to celebrate that they have woken up into a new level of reality and, in a sense, are more of who they truly are. And many of them attempt to get you to know that you don't have to feel that they're not with you. They don't have to grieve. But many times, physical reality being so very dense, it's difficult for you to perceive that they're attempting to let you know that they're fine, they're happy, they're all right, and that you can celebrate the idea of a transition with them and that they haven't left you at all.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
Does that help you?
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, Bashar.
And you, good day.
You talked about...
Speak up, speak up.
Yes, sir.
Oh, sir.
You just talked about this, but when we die, where we go? Yes.
The spirit realm is its own dimension of reality. It's a higher frequency vibrational reality that's parallel to the physical world. And in that spirit reality, there isn't the same experience of time and space. In the same way that you experience movement through space, and not so much the idea of movement through time, on the higher spirit levels, that being experiences more movement through time and less through space. In other words, they can see more of all that is in that reality, and they don't have to travel to see it, because they know it all happens right here, right now. And there isn't such an idea so much as what you call a time lag between imagining something and experiencing it as a manifestation on that level. Does that make sense?
I know we can use some techniques for out-of-body experience.
Yes. And in that and in dreams sometimes, many of you visit the spirit realm and interact with those who exist in that reality.
I would like to choose a technique, but I don't know which one will help.
Whichever one works best for your imagination, whichever one you are most attracted to is the one that will work best for you at any given moment. Or you can make up your own technique. You understand?
Yes.
Choose the one that you are most attracted to. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
Does that help you?
Yes. I have another question.
Speak up.
I have a relative that she's 22 years old.
All right. 22 orbits.
She has eating disorder.
Yes.
Bulimic.
Yes.
How can I help her?
We would have to talk with this individual directly.
Okay.
You understand? Yes. There are obviously many issues, many belief systems, many reflections of the self that this individual has that are issues of lack of self-worth that need to be examined and explored, and we do not wish to give the impression that a simplistic brief answer will necessarily do the job without really exploring with this individual on a personal basis what their specific issues are.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Bashar.
And thank you and good day.
Yeah, I have a question regarding one of your teachings.
Yes.
It's where you act on your highest excitement, what excites you moment to moment, until you can't act anymore on it.
Without expectation.
Okay. I do that sometimes when it comes, you know, I'll get paid on payday.
Yes.
And it's really exciting to spend that money like right then.
Oh, all right, if you insist. As long as you're sure it's excitement and not anxiety.
It's excitement because like I got paid one day and I saw that there's going to be a Bashar conference, which is this one here.
Yes.
And so I was like very excited to do that.
All
and
right.
So, you know, I bought the ticket, whatever.
And so you created some means by which you could allow yourself to take action.
And beyond that, there's like concerts and clothes that I need
Yes.
or more want and stuff. And
if you say so.
Yes, I do. And
oh, yes, I do.
And these
are you dealing with abundance issues?
Possibly, because these things are far more like exciting than paying my bills.
Now, why is it not exciting to be capable of paying your bills?
I'm capable of it, but
why is that not exciting?
Exciting to pay my bills?
Yes, why not? Why isn't that exciting? Doesn't that mean that you're generating abundance in whatever form you need to be able to exchange equal service for service?
Yes.
So why isn't that exciting?
I understand the need for it, but the excitement for it, there are other things.
So you are devaluing the excitement in that?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I just don't feel the excitement there.
All right. Then maybe that's the issue.
Okay.
You are labeling these things as not being part of your excitement.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that everything in the world has to be recognized as exactly the same level of vibration of what excites you the most. Nevertheless, the idea is that when you act on your highest excitement to the best of your ability without expectation, you will attract whatever forms of abundance will allow you to experience and express any other form or expression of your excitement or any other form of expression of thing that is required in your reality to allow you the ability to act on your excitement, and therefore it becomes a part of your excitement because it gives you the ability to act on your excitement. Do you understand? There's no separation here. The process is the thing.
Okay, so
it's all one picture.
Would you call this abundance issues then?
What is abundance to you? What is your definition of abundance? Is it the same as ours?
Having the resources to do what I need to do when I need to do it?
Yes. The ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it, no matter in what form that comes. That's abundance.
Okay.
So, if you are willing to allow all expressions to be part of your excitement and not devalue those things that give you the ability to act on your excitement for as long as your belief system believes that it needs those abilities, then you will function as a whole picture, as a whole being. But anytime you start compartmentalizing and segregating and detail orienting and separating these things out as if they have nothing at all to do with your ability to attract what you need, then you may be devaluing certain things that actually are representative of parts of your excitement and your abundance because you're assuming that somehow they shouldn't be.
Okay, so I need to look at these other things and see and
Yes.
just reevaluate.
Yes, it's one thing to recognize what is truly not representative of your excitement. It's another to devalue something that actually is part of your excitement. You have to have the ability to discern the difference. And if you really feel that the way you're going about doing these things that give you the ability to act on your excitement is not the way you wish to do it, then you can use the definition of abundance to attract other things that give you the ability.
I like that part.
So you could attract a situation where you don't necessarily have to pay bills.
Okay.
You see?
I'll concentrate on that.
Well, you don't have to concentrate on it. All you have to know is that if you're opening all the doors through which abundance can come in all the forms it can come, it will come to you in whatever way actually serves you best. And if it doesn't come that way, then maybe it's telling you you have a belief or you have a limitation on your beliefs that don't, in that sense, allow it to work that way. And therefore, it's giving you an opportunity to look at something that you can change.
So I need to look at my belief systems.
Yes.
Right there.
It's always very important to also honor the beliefs that are there and not discount or devalue them, because it doesn't make sense to jump off a cliff if you don't actually believe you have a parachute. You understand?
I do.
So first honor the system that's there, but know that you can change it if you truly believe you can. But if you find yourself not being able to, then you obviously have a belief that for some reason you shouldn't. Or you may actually have a theme of exploration that says, I actually don't want to change these beliefs. And thus, then it can give you an opportunity to label them in a different way that allows them to be part of your excitement instead of continuing to assume that they're not. You have to look at this from a variety of different perspectives to truly understand with honesty and clarity what you're really all about in terms of the beliefs that make up your personality.
Okay, you said a theme of exploration?
Yes.
How do I discover what those are?
The challenges that come up in your life are representative of the theme you chose to explore in this life.
Okay.
So if you're having challenges in the areas of abundance or the things that provide you the ability to do what you say excites you, then that may be one of the themes you chose to explore, is how to define these things in such a manner that they work for you.
All right.
Yes?
Thank you. Yes.
And use your imagination to expand your ability to imagine how things can be done. When I suggested that you could attract to yourself a circumstance and a situation that may make it unnecessary to pay bills, is that not something you ever even imagined before, or have you?
I hadn't thought about that.
Why not? You see, to us, it would be an obvious direction to go in. Why wasn't it obvious to you? If you say that it truly, truly, truly isn't part of your excitement to pay bills in that way, then why wouldn't you have gone, I wonder if there's a way I can attract a situation where I don't have to pay bills? Wouldn't that have been the first thought that would have come into the mind of someone who stays in the vibration of their highest joy?
I think that...
Yes? What do you think?
I think...
Yes.
That probably just never occurred to me.
Because you're not in the vibration where such thoughts are allowed.
Okay.
You see? You cannot perceive what you're not the vibration of. If you're not already of the vibratory state that would allow for such a thing, then that thought, the very inspiration itself, will be completely invisible to you. You will never think of it.
Okay.
So you have to be in the vibratory state that you prefer to be in, instead of assuming that you're not in the ideal state. You have to be in the ideal state in order to perceive the things that go hand in hand with the ideal state, including opportunities, circumstances, synchronicities, and inspirations. Otherwise, you'll just never see those doors.
But when you're in the ideal state all the time and never discounting where you are as less than any other state you could be in, you will then be of the vibration to be able to have those inspirations. You'll think of those things automatically. They'll be obvious to you. You see?
Yeah.
Does that help you?
It does help me. I have another question.
Yes. Why did it sound like you made a question out of saying you had another question?
I don't know.
Oh, all right.
The other question, one of the things that excite me is being in the presence of and being able to discuss with entities such as yourself.
Yes.
The different ideas that they present.
All right, so you're excited right now, yes?
I am very excited.
Oh, all right.
It's awesome.
Oh, all right, is full of has
awe.
some awe.
And it's not awful.
Not awful, just some awe.
Right.
All right, awesome. All right.
Okay, and there's been like, I think about 3 or 4 entities
Yes.
that I've been discussing with, talking to.
All right. You understand that we're excited to be communicating with you as well, yes?
I hope so.
You what?
I hope so.
You what?
Yes, I understand.
Thank you. You see how you discounted yourself?
I did. I
Thank
discounted a lot
you.
of things, I think. Yeah.
You might overthink things.
Probably so.
Yes.
I've been told that too.
Well, gee, what a surprise.
Well, yeah. Okay, my question is this.
Yes.
With the teaching of each entity,
Yes.
there are many, many similarities, but there are also some differences. And
Yes.
I'm wondering why there are differences.
There are differences because there are different belief systems on your planet that need to hear things in different ways. Use what works for you. Discard what does not. Simple, yes?
Yeah, I find myself trying to integrate everything.
No. That's like going into a restaurant and ordering every single thing on the menu and then being surprised that you are absolutely bloated.
Yeah, I've been there too.
Yes. Well, you see,
Okay.
just order what works for you.
Right.
That's what works.
I like that.
If in the next moment your appetite changes, order something different the next time. But you don't have to eat it all at once. And all of it is not for you.
Okay.
You understand?
I do.
Does that help?
That helps me quite a bit.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bashar.
Greetings, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
So, we really enjoy all that you give to us. How could we compensate you?
You always do. These are compensation. These communications are reciprocal.
It's enough.
Yes, absolutely. We are constantly overjoyed to interact with other facets of creation, to see reflected in you different ways that creation has of perceiving itself. This expands our understanding of creation. It increases our family by making these connections with you, and that gives us joy.
Speaking of family,
yes,
I've heard you talk about our planet being like the mental part, yours being like the heart, and Sirius being like the, what would be the other part? Mental?
The spirit?
Spirit, yeah.
In a sense, it's a euphemism for the kinds of energy in general that are being expressed in that particular triad relationship, but please understand that that's an oversimplification, just for the purposes of illustrating a point.
So could you...
This doesn't mean you don't have heart and spirit.
Yeah. My thought is, though, eventually will we come together more as a family? Is that,
yes.
That's we're heading that direction,
it's
yes?
Called contact. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. So as you grow into more of yourselves, as you become the vibration that exists in contact, you meet us halfway.
And we'll integrate our hearts.
Yes. If that is your intention. Is it not?
It is.
There you go. Is there anything that can stand in the way of that then?
No.
Except?
Us.
Thank you. See how simple it is?
Simple.
Is it too simple?
No, I like that. I like it.
Oh, all right. Just want to make sure you don't want me to complicate it for you because I know how many humans love to complicate things. And I don't want to take that excitement away from you.
No.
No, all right.
Simple is exciting.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now then, if you wish, you may prepare yourselves for the second version of the idea of the permission slip.